Happy lunch hour, gang. All right, it's November 30th. I want to give you that. We aren't even into December yet. Winter doesn't start for another 3 weeks, okay? Just giving you this. Week or so back, I did a video telling people to prepare for winter. Have you done the things, if you will? I wonder how many people listened, especially those that live in, Western Pennsylvania, Western New York, all along all along Lake Erie, up toward Buffalo. Not that it's a big surprise that Buffalo gets a lot of snow, but this is what happened overnight. Okay, take a look at this. This is Interstate 90, the highway in New York and Pennsylvania. The highway itself was closed for over 100 miles. Well, people were still on the highway. No getting in, no getting out. You're stuck. Now, granted, not everybody lives where it snows like this because, they were only supposed to get 3 to 4 feet of snow. The Tug Hill Plateau was supposed to get up near 6 feet of snow. Your car isn't 6 feet high, guys. Okay. Yeah, you could be completely buried. But even here this morning, I'm in northeastern Tennessee, for those of you guys that are new, north in Knoxville. It was 24 degrees when I got up. I drove out this morning to the post office. There was ice on the streets. Yeah, okay. Are you ready for this? Granted, paying attention to the news broadcast, knowing what the weather forecast is. Hey, there's going to be snow coming. Sure, no problem. You live up in Buffalo. You live in Erie, Pennsylvania. You live around Cleveland, okay? Any of these areas. You're used to winter snow. You're used to driving in lake effect snow. Not in 6 feet of it, okay? All those cars in that video I just showed you are stuck. They can't go anywhere until they're dug out. And good luck digging out in between cars and trucks. Do you have a shovel? Okay? The snowplows aren't coming in between. You're stuck there. Did you notice in the picture how many headlights were off? How many headlights were on? How long are you going to be there? How much gas do you have in your car? Are you going to be able to stay warm? You run out of gas. Now not only are you stuck because of the snow, you ain't going anywhere if it was all shoveled away. Oh, and the people behind you can't get around you either. So do you think there might be some hot tempers? Move your car. I can't. I don't have any gas. Right? When it comes to weather like this, we need to prepare ourselves for not only the problems we may face, but the problems others may face that are going to affect us. Got to think about this. Gas, okay? Not like you're going to drive around with gas cans in your car all the time, but something, are you ready to get out and help move a car out of the way so traffic can pass? Do you have the aforementioned shovel? Do you have cat litter or ice melt or traction pads or something to put under your tires so you can get some traction and get moving? Do you have blankets in the car? Do you have the little hand warmers that you can put inside your gloves, that I hope you have, okay, in the car? Think about this every time you go out somewhere, all right? Like I said, here it was 24 degrees this morning. For us, that's cold, all right? I mean, for me, I grew up north. That's not a big deal, okay? But for people that have lived down south going through this cold weather, which we've got this huge cold front hitting half the country right now. It's cold this morning, okay? It's cold out. Are you even dressed appropriately for the weather? Honest question here. How many times have you gotten in your car, I don't care when, to go to Walmart, to go to the grocery store, to go wherever you gotta go, and you're in a pair of tennis shoes and maybe a pair of jeans and a hoodie, okay? And this is it. It's 24 degrees outside, but that's what you got on. And your car breaks down, right? Motor won't start. Something happens. You're off the side of the road. Maybe you're out on a back road somewhere that people don't drive on too often. Kind of like where I live, okay? Kind of like where a lot of you guys live too. Hopefully the phone works and you can call for help. But what if it doesn't? Right? Car won't start. Chances are your battery's not going to work. It's probably the reason that the car won't start. Something's wrong. Usually in cold weather, you have a bad battery. Have you checked the battery out in your car lately? Okay, just give you that as an idea. You didn't dress for the weather and all of a sudden you're stuck in the weather. Maybe it's not 3 or 4 feet of snow. Maybe it's just cold. Sit outside in 20-degree temperatures for a while with tennis shoes and blue jeans and a hoodie on, and that's it. You're going to get cold quick. Again, and this goes for 90% of the country. I don't think you need to do this in Miami, say, but those of you in Florida know you can get some cold weather too. Texas, I lived down through ice storms in the DFW area. I know what happens. You should have a blanket, gloves, scarf, hand warmers in your car. Boots, if you ain't wearing them, you need to have. Go to Walmart and buy yourself a cheap pair of rubber boots that comes up to your knees. It probably cost you less than $50, okay? And keep them in your car, because if you've got to get out sloshing through snow or slush or whatever, it's going to keep your feet warm. It's going to keep your feet dry. You want to know how to completely take you out of commission real fast? Get frostbite on your feet. You ain't doing anything, okay? Being in tennis shoes, wet tennis shoes, is not going to help you. If the car all of a sudden doesn't start and you've got wet feet, yeah, taking off your socks helps, but if it's 24 degrees outside, it's going to be 24 degrees inside real quick too, and you've got no heat. It's not like you can have a buddy heater in your car or something like that that's going to work. You're not going to go out on the side of the road and build a fire. I highly doubt anybody keeps firewood in their car, and you're certainly not going to find it under 2 or 3 feet of snow. I say this because I just talked about it a week or two ago, about being prepared, and now we run into this exact situation. Not necessarily for me. There's no snow on the ground. It's a sunny day. But I know there's people that watch this channel that live in upstate New York, that live in western Pennsylvania, that live in upstate Ohio. Were you ready for this storm? I hope so. You guys should be used to it more than anybody else, you know. But Idaho, Montana, the Dakotas, Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, you guys, we go the entire East Coast, okay? If you want to get back to Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, you know, everything there. Y'all need to be ready for this. But those of us that live in the central and southern portions of the country, we do too. Because this morning, it was 24 where I am. Where are you, and what was the morning temperature when you got up? Don't do something foolish. Having a pair of gloves always in the car, having a knit hat in the car, having a preferably wool blanket, which you can get on, you know, Army wool blanket. Go to an Army surplus store, you can go to Amazon and buy a wool blanket, okay? Preferably one of those in the car is worthwhile. You guys remember Christmas from a couple of years ago when it was frigid cold And I told you the story about Brett flying into Indianapolis, and he was in the truck getting out of Indianapolis Airport, trying to drive back up north, and saw a guy in 20 below wind chill temperatures walking because his car broke down. And if it wasn't for Brett stopping, that guy would have froze to death because he was in nothing more than a hoodie and jeans and tennis shoes out on a back road somewhere trying to get wherever he could because the car broke down. More people die from cold weather than from heat, tenfold. Don't be one of them. Use this storm just like we use tornadoes that hit, hurricanes that hit. Put yourself in that position. Maybe not the 3 or 4 feet of snow. I'm not worried about that here. But we all remember last year, 2 years ago, and all the frozen conditions we had. I told you guys, I was stuck in the house for 8 days because the roads were frozen here, and there's a big hill that doesn't get any sunlight because it's all under tree cover here, and the ice was there for 8 days. I couldn't get out of the house. Wasn't planning on it anyway because I was prepared ahead of time. Pinball out.